How's it going, John?
Oh, it is going much better in Oregon than it is going in Texas. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, I was thinking about the snow day because I had tweeted something last week about, my poor kids in their entire school history, whenever it snowed, they got the day off. And this
Exciting.
year, since they're all remote learning, no day off. However, in the aftermath of the snow, it left a lot of the school district without power on Monday. So they canceled school,
Right.
a no electricity day, a no a no power
No
day
power day.
for
No
for
power day.
Tuesday. So
I I felt bad for my younger son because he's in the
mhm,
eighth grade and
right.
in a different school. And literally the announcement on Friday was the entire school is off for snow except the eighth grade. You have classes as normal. Because at least at that they've got a number of classes that are in person, especially the younger grades. Lots of people coming in, and so they
Right.
just closed. But yeah, then
Mm,
I guess it was Tuesday because both my kids were off on Monday for President's Day, and
right.
then Tuesday was no power. So
Was a no power day.
yeah. Although, did you ever
Yeah.
lose power at your place?
No. We were comfy. It was chilly, it was
Yeah.
really cold, and I spent the weekend leveraging my four-wheel drive truck for neighbors and friends to do activities that they had panicked about, or someone had
Oh.
got themselves stuck. So I was like, yay, I can actually use my truck for something useful.
For a truckiness.
Yes, I can actually put it in four-wheel drive.
That's
And for a
ironic.
reason.
That's good. Okay. I have to
That
say,
was
we
fun.
didn't leave the house for, I don't know, 6 or 7 days, however long it was.
Mm.
No, just hunkered down. In fact, there weren't even any, there were no tracks in the driveway because we had a couple of things to be delivered by Amazon that got delayed.
Right.
So, including a PS4 game for one thing that we wound up basically just saying, it was delayed. 3-day weekend. It would have been it was supposed to get here on Friday, and we're looking forward to it. No.
Mm.
Weather did not have a say. And then I think on Monday, it turned from delayed to your package may be lost. So
Oh,
we just said, you know what, abort,
cancel it.
cancel the order, and just bought it on not Steam, whatever the PlayStation Store is, and then and then it took the next 12 hours to download. So it's
Uh,
okay.
oh,
At least we have bandwidth.
yes. We got out quite a bit this weekend. Like I said, just driving around doing other things. My wife had a whole bunch she had this fun gift idea for Valentine's Day to give to a number of friends. And so she was sad that it was snowy and wasn't going to be able to get them in time for Valentine's Day. And it was, well, I'm already out there in the truck. We could just add your list. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's
we took
awesome.
longer routes, less steep routes to the various places. Some people kind of live
Sure.
up steep hills, but yeah, it was fun. And then we did hang out in the house a bit too. We watched Jumanji: The Next Level. Have you seen the new
I
Jumanji
have.
movies?
Those are amazing.
They're hilarious.
I mean, yeah, Jack Black and The Rock. Yeah.
Kevin
they-
Hart.
and Kevin Hart. Oh, man.
It's so fun to watch. So we ended up watching that one, which was fun because I have my middle daughter now officially has decided where she's going to school, so she's all excited.
Awesome.
And we're starting to give out, put down that payments for housing. And she's also my theater girl and never really has been interested that much in Marvel movies or anything. I think I mentioned this before. And so we're going through all these movies that we think are hilarious that she's just never had an interest in. And Jumanji was one of them. So the previous weekend we had watched the first Jumanji, and this past weekend, we watched the Next Level one, and she's really enjoying all these movies. So it's kind of fun
That's awesome.
to hang out and have all these movies that she gets to watch. And now she's hooked on WandaVision and watches it on Tuesday night at midnight or whenever it comes out. It comes out on is it Fridays? Maybe it's Fridays.
Oh, I don't think I realized that was like getting dribbled out.
Yes. It's getting weekly, dropped out weekly. So it's been fun.
I actually watched the first two of those this weekend, or not this weekend, just the other night.
And
they were.
What are your?
They were interesting, I guess.
Let me just say.
Yeah.
All right. Go. No. Finish your thought. I'm not going to finish your thought.
They were. I think that as somebody who's actually seen shows on which sort of the themes were based, right. I think that I enjoyed them more than my kids did. My kids were like, that is the most bizarre thing ever. What in the world are they doing? That is ridiculously weird. And
yeah.
Anyway.
So I got to the first two episodes and my wife really likes them. And I told my wife and my daughter, unless episode 3 gets good, I'm out. The first two just did not get me hooked. I was not interested. Episode 3 was where I got the hook, and episode 4 was, all right, I'm in. So,
all right, good to know.
So, yeah, keep going. Don't give up after 2.
Don't give up. Okay, that's good. Good to know, because I suggested that we watch one tonight, and they were like, I guess if you really want to, but we'd rather just play. And
yeah,
I was like, all right, fine, you could play. But all right, I will. I'll push harder next free evening night. Yeah,
and yeah, then by episodes 5 and 6, which I think 6 is the latest one, you're now kind of back into what you would have what you probably were mentally expecting.
Okay,
from a Marvel movie. Just heads up.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, and that's all I'll say there.
That's good. Yeah, no, don't need to spoil it. No spoilage. So, let's see. What did I do this weekend? Oh man, I mean, having it so cold and having everything frozen is always harder on a farm. So, getting water troughs filled without
into the barn.
freezing hoses, and we moved the most of the goats and our donkey into the barn to stay warm. Put a heat lamp up in there, and so that was interesting. And it's it's chilly out there, but at least I've got gear. I've got that kind of stuff. So it wasn't terribly bad, but my basement flooded again when it leaked, or not leaked. Basement leaked, but when it melted, when all the water was melting. So right. I just gotta get it dug out and figure out what the heck's going on. But when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
So that's pretty bad. Oh, the other thing I did that was fun this weekend though was I got the 3D printer back printing, and printed a couple of plates, which was awesome. Although I decided to experiment on the last one on, I think it was Tuesday night, maybe it was Monday night, and I messed with the settings a little bit, and then the resin actually stuck to the film on the bottom, and it delaminated when I was trying to clean it off. So now I have to replace the bottom film and blah blah blah. So now I got a half hour worth of work before I can print again. And I haven't done it yet, so probably Friday night. It's not looking like I've got a half hour free between now and Friday. So we'll see. We'll see. But that was cool. I went through a bunch of the stuff that I wanted to print for the last couple of, I don't know, weeks. I haven't been doing anything. Actually, I haven't printed anything since, I don't think, Christmas. And so anyway, I went. There's a whole bunch of stuff I wanted to print, and I'm kind of excited about getting that back running again. And the first print was great. Second one, not so much, which is why I was tweaking it for the third. But
right,
it is what it is. Anyway, anything else for you?
No, other than our first world problem has been rectified. Our dishwasher has finally been fixed.
Oh, yay.
So
good
we've
for
been
you.
hand washing dishes for 3+ weeks now. And the part finally came in. It's finally working. Yay, me.
Awesome.
It's hard to complain about stuff like that.
I know. Well,
let me rephrase. It's easy to complain about stuff like that. I feel guilty for complaining about stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. All
right.
It is what it is. All right. Well, hey, I threw one thing in follow-up here, which is tomorrow.
A something fun preview.
It's a something fun follow-up. But by the time this is edited and released, it will have been in history. So you'll have to go back and see what happened to it. But my something fun last week was the rover that's going to land on Mars tomorrow as we record this, Thursday, Thursday morning in Pacific time on the 18th of February. And I did not last week when I said, oh yeah, they're going to have a helicopter on it. I did not actually seen a picture of it. And this link that I'll put in follow-up here actually has a picture, and it is significantly bigger than I guess I was expecting. So that
4 pounds is a pretty good size for a drone,
right? And how big is the wings were really, really wide, as I recall. 4-foot long helicopter rotors.
Yeah.
So that is not small. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. And then the other thing about this event that is going to happen is the way the landing is being done is the same, evidently, that they did in 2012 with the what do they call it? A sky crane. But basically they they use active jets for the last little bit so that it the craft is basically flying down on jets, and then like bungee cords come out. I'm sure it's not really bungee cords. Drop the rover to the surface, detach, and then the landing craft basically flies away and presumably crashes somewhere else. But it seems like just a super complicated series of maneuvers. But we'll see. Evidently, they call it the seven minutes of terror, waiting to see whether or not it succeeded or failed. All that time, all that effort, all the thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, and I guess I have no idea, millions, let's say millions and millions of dollars, and let's see what happens. Yikes. All right. Anyway, so I hope that everybody watched that. If you didn't, I'm sure you can go back and...
I'm looking forward to just kind of seeing what goes on tomorrow.
Right. I'm super excited. So anyway, that's my follow-up. Right. How about topics? What'd you bring me today?
So I got two, or I have two. The first one is an article, and I'll just kind of gloss over it a little bit, because we haven't really talked about IoT in a while. This one is a nursery camera system with a DVR functionality that parents can drop their kids off at a nursery and I assume, load up a web page or their app on their phone and log in and check out, baby and be happy. Apparently, a security researcher went and did some research and found some very, very less secure items.
These are brutal.
It is pretty bad. So it's the application doesn't use any HTTPS or TLS at all to communicate between the server and the endpoints. It sends the username and password. So when you log in as a parent, it sends that in the URL.
Oh my
in your browser,
gracious.
there's a string called username and a string called password, and those are sent pretty much in the clear. And then the DVR, where you can go look at the video backup, are not per parent credentials. So if essentially the user is admin and the password is not that much different than the word admin. And, this is under the covers, of course. So the average person who just is using it won't know, but how it works underneath the covers is you would have access to not just your kid, any kid. And anyways, I really don't want to dwell on it. It's just, these are IoT devices and nice things that people think would be great. And unless whoever is building it has had any amount of research in just simple security functions, this kind of stuff happens. So go check out the article. It's in the UK. So if you happen to be using this nursery camera system, maybe rethink that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's not a very long article. It is very blunt. The more exciting article is called Super Cookie. So my second article is called Super Cookie. Right? There's a whole lot of stuff that's been going on about, browser fingerprinting, and that's how people, advertisers can track you across the web, and why cookies are all that important. Well, this is some research that was done that uses the fave icon.
Okay.
The little tiny thing that shows up in the corner of your browser. It's a really small image.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're usually 16 by 16 or 32 by 30. They're very small. And what you can do with that icon, since the browser actually stores that icon not in the same place where it stores the rest of the cookies, it's stored elsewhere.
Okay.
When a user visits a website, your browser then checks to see, hey, does the fave icon need to be updated? And so the browser goes to the server and says, give me the fave icon for whatever the URL is of the website you're doing, and it will be loaded and stored in the browser. But the article goes in a little bit more detail, but basically the idea is it allows the server to assign a unique identifier to each browser as they are asking for these different fave icons for different URLs. And it doesn't matter if you're using VPN or you've got privacy turned on or any of the other things that you would normally kind of do, because it's just an image that it's pulling out. And so when that browser requests that web page, if that icon's not in the local cache, then it makes another request for it. If the icon already exists, then it doesn't ask for anything. And just the combination of the state of when did you send the icon, what icons are there, where the path is, that can create a unique identifier for that client. And it will continue to work across all sorts of things. I'm probably doing I'm doing a very poor job at describing it. But if you go read through the article, it kind of has this interesting. The point I just wanted to mention here is whatever you're doing online is being tracked. So
yeah,
no matter what your privacy posture is, someone's going to figure out a way to get around all the privacy restrictions or all the privacy methods that you put in place.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's super cookie.
Huh. All right. I don't think I quite understand from that. I haven't read this, but the notion that you would be able to sort of reconstruct a unique ID from essentially a side effect, I guess, of loading or not loading the fave icons.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'll have to read that whole thing. All right. Well, hey, I also brought 2 topics tonight. The first one is COVID Jamaican travel. Let's see, Jamaica travelers. If you traveled to Jamaica after, I think it was June 2020, your information is probably exposed. So, and why it was an S3 bucket? Of course it was.
Set to public.
Of course it was. Yes. So let's see. The issue here is let's see. It says the Jamaican government contracted Amber Group to build the Jam COVID-19 website and app, which the government uses to publish daily coronavirus figures and allows residents to self-report their symptoms. They also built a website to pre-approve travel applications to visit the island during the pandemic, which requires travelers to upload a negative COVID-19 test result before they board their flight. And then they have to show a certificate or something like that. So, but yep, cloud, it said later on, it was, storage server hosted on AWS or Amazon Web Services was set to public. It's not known how long the data was unprotected, but it contained more than 70,000 negative COVID-19 lab results, over 425,000 immigration documents authorizing travel to the island, including name, date of birth, passport numbers, and over 250,000 quarantine orders dating back to June 2020. It also contained more than 440,000 images of travelers' signatures. And one sort of cherry on top, evidently, it says travelers who are staying outside Jamaica's so-called resilient corridor, which I assume is sort of the place where the people who live on the island live. Let's see. A zone that covers a large portion of the island's population are told to install the app built by Amber Group that tracks their location and is tracked by the Ministry of Health to ensure visitors stay within the corridor. The app also requires that travelers record short check-in videos with the daily code sent by the government, along with their name and any symptoms, and the server exposed more than 1.1 million of those daily updating check-in videos. So I don't know what that is, whether, do you have to literally use your phone, record a short thing? Hey, I'm John. Still feeling fine. Here's the code, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. So,
okay.
I am Bytes again. So anyway, that was the first one. The second one, this isn't exactly the gift that keeps on giving, SolarWinds, but it's related in the sense that it's more IT monitoring software. So this is France's cybersecurity agency said a group of Russian military hackers known as the Sandworm Group have been behind a 3-year-long operation during which they breached the internal networks of several French entities running the Centrion IT monitoring software. So, the thing about management software, like IT management software, it's designed for command and control of systems. It's what allows, an IT person or in some cases a SOC person to, control configuration on 10,000 devices in large enterprise organizations and things like that. It's a very juicy target for attackers. That's at the root. So let's see. What else did this say? So this was released in a report by the ANSSI, or the Agency Nationale. Oh, I shouldn't even try to do this. Security and System Information. This campaign mostly affects information technology providers, especially web hosts, they said. And it dates from 2017 until 2020, so 3 years. It's not clear. I mean, I didn't think they said when they saw it and, when they sort of began mitigations, but let's see. Right. But the entry point was linked to Centrion, like it said on the title, I guess. But that is an IT resource monitoring platform developed by a French company called Centrion. Similar to SolarWinds in the sense that it's the IT monitoring. They do not believe that this was an example of a
supply chain attack.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they don't think it's supply chain. They suspect. It says they attacked targets, or they attacked systems that were left connected to the internet. So they don't know whether it was due to a vulnerability or due to a guessed password or something like that. But they not supply chain likely, but. When successful, they installed both a web shell and they said the XRML backdoor Trojan, quote, 2 malware strains that when used together allowed attackers full control over the compromised system and its adjacent network. And then what was unusual about this is the fact that they're actually giving attribution to Sandworm. I did not read, and I probably can't read the initial report since it's out of France. But the comment in the article was that, quote, Sandworm is the only known group that uses XRML. And Sandworm, the final comment I pulled out of this is that Sandworm is the same group that the U.S. DOJ charged for, let's see. Let me actually just read the quote so I don't mistake here. It says, in October 2020, the U.S. Department of Justice formally charged 6 Russian military officers for their participation in cyber attacks orchestrated by this group, formally linking the Sandworm APT to Unit 74455 of the Russian Main Intelligence Directorate, GRU, a military intelligence agency part of the Russian army. And this is the same group. Sorry, hold on. And this is the same group that carried out the energy grid attacks across Ukraine in 2015, 2016. The NotPetya ransomware outbreak of 2017. Attacks on the Winter Olympics in 2018, and quote, a mass defacement of Georgian websites in 2019. So will be interesting to see what the fallout is of that.
Yeah,
I suspect it will be non-zero. So it will be interesting. Might be some follow-up. We'll see. This just came out. When did this come out? Yesterday. No, sorry. February 15th. Monday. So, anyway. All right, there you go. Some interesting topics.
Nice.
Yeah. How about something fun? What'd you bring me tonight?
Well, my something fun was, I think, initially it was going to be my, follow-up, but I decided I liked it enough. It was going to be fun. So this is a hardware key, like a YubiKey, which is based all on open source technology, both hardware and software. And you can't, so I saw this in January as a post somewhere saying, hey, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to launch this on Kickstarter. And just a little bit ago, they launched the Kickstarter project. So I just thought this was a lot of fun. They did a reversible connector for both USB A and C. C is designed reversible, but A is generally not. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to put it in a certain way most of the time. But they used open source technology to build it out, and it'll essentially be a second factor key for the same reason I would use a YubiKey, but maybe a little bit. I will be interested to see how this kind of plays out as an open source type play.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how open source it is. Some of the initial stuff made it sound like it was going to be completely 100% open source, but now as I was looking through the Kickstarter project, some of the things I thought I had read are not there. So, but we'll see how open source this FIDO2 security key actually is. So there's my something fun. If probably by the time this comes out, the Kickstarter campaign might be older. There's 8 days left, but they were trying to raise $5,000. They've raised $325,000. So
what?
Very much exceeded their funding goals. So by next Friday, February 26th is the last day you can back the project. Just for transparency, I am not. I'm just kind of following it. I have 4 YubiKeys. I don't need another one for fun. So, but I do like the idea, and there's my something fun.
That is really cool. I'm looking through, I think it's your first link on here.
The first link was the intro blog post.
Oh.
And this is actually version 2 of the key.
Yeah.
There was a version 1, and now there's a version 2.
Yeah. This is awesome. Well, good for him. Or good for them, I guess.
Fun stuff.
Okay. All right. I gotta read that too. I'm never going to go to bed tonight. Okay. Well, I just have I'm still kind of waiting for my my something fun that's going to drop tomorrow with the sky crane. But I read this is like an old blog post from 4 years ago from JWZ or Jamie Zawinski, who I have a couple things about this. I mean, the first of which is he is probably the first quote unquote blog that I ever read on the internet, because it was way before blogs actually existed back in when I was in grad school. So it would have been in the, sort of mid 90s, I want to say. And he was working at Netscape Navigator or Netscape with the company. And, one of the original employees of Netscape. And, he had a blog at the time that I just thought was hilarious. Long before RSS. If you wanted to read a new entry, you had to go there and say, hey, did he post anything new? That kind of thing. Anyway, so, fast forward years. I don't even know when he quit Netscape, but it was a long time ago. And he's been running a club in San Francisco for the last, 2 decades, however long it's been. But anyway, so that's a little bit about, what and why have I followed Jamie Zawinski. But most developers have probably, if they've heard of him in any way, it's from some quotes that he's made over the years. One of which, the one that I think I've run into the most often in other cases is, some people, when faced with a problem, think, I know, I'll solve this with a regular expression. Now they have 2 problems. That's kind of one of his famous ones. And I totally probably butchered that, but anyway, the long story longer. But this blog post, the reason I linked to this, there was just some great info stuff in here about the genesis of Mozilla and the Mozilla imagery and the Mozilla, logo. It was awesome. But they also, it starts with, here's just his first line. I'm going to draw a line through 1930s agitprop, Ronald Reagan, methane-breathing zombie space aliens, the Mozilla logo, Barack Obama, and the International Communist Conspiracy. It's a long walk, so please stick with me. It's just awesome. And then, so he's like, so let's start with...
You have to read to the end now.
I know, right? So evidently They Live, which I've never seen, is a 1988 film by John Carpenter whose premise is this. An out-of-work construction worker finds a box of special sunglasses near his homeless encampment. These glasses let you see the world as it really is. The Earth has been invaded and all of the 1%ers, and most of the cops are actually skinless space zombie free enterprisers. So have you ever seen this movie?
No.
Evidently it doesn't age well. But other than the the theme ages well, but it's super low budget anyway. Right. But let me see. I pulled out a couple other two other quotes that I'll read, and then I'll just say go read the whole rest of it yourself. But so let's see. There's a quote. Mozilla had a cartoon dinosaur as a logo and mascot. In the early years of Netscape, this little guy was plastered all over our website in banners at the top of every page and scattered throughout. The artist was Dave Titus, and he went for a very cute look with the art. But sometime in 1994, before Dave's vision of Mozilla came to be, I threw together a version to hang on the wall above our cubicle farm, pictured to the right. It's about 4 foot tall. The original source was a 2-inch high picture of Godzilla from a newspaper ad for a local toy store. I blew this up on the company photocopier one late night, zooming and zooming and zooming. I spent a lot of late nights slaving over photocopier-based art projects back then while waiting for things to compile. So much stuff there to unpack. Anyway, every now and then we'd get an email from the facilities asking why we seemed to burn through so much toner. I wasn't able to find a contemporary photo of that protozilla, but fortunately, my strict data retention policy applies also to grainy black and white pieces of paper, so I was able to dig the original out of a very old cardboard box I haven't opened since, I'm guessing, 1996. Anyway, it goes on. I somehow saw this link on someplace and went and read it. It's 4 years old, 2016. Blog post, but made me laugh out loud a couple of times. And so anyway, that's my something fun.
Yeah. When I need to smile, I'll go out and look at folklore.org. I know that was one of my something funs probably 2 years
eons ago
or longer. Yeah. It was one of my early something funs. I still love that website just to kind of go read about little vignettes. Is that the right word?
A vignette is a great one. Yeah.
Stories from the early days of the Mac.
Uh-huh.
A lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So yeah, because what's nice about these is that was, I was there at the beginning. You were there.
I was there.
That's what's fun about these kind of stories.
Right? Yeah. No, I very much remember. In fact, I remember the first time I ever saw a web address on a TV ad. It was for Toyota, I think. And at the bottom of the end of the ad, they were like www.toyota.com. And I tapped my wife on the shoulder. I was like, wait. Did you just see that was they put a website on TV. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
yeah. Fun stuff.
Old man yells at cloud. But anyway, that's all good.
This is old man smiles at cloud.
Old man smiles at Godzilla. Protozilla. Anyway.
All right.
Well, be safe, be warm.
Yeah.
Especially for people, if there are people listening to this, they're in more impacted areas. Take care. Hope everybody's well.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Have a good night, John.
Have a good night. Talk to you later, Eric. Bye.
Bye.